Liverpool 5, Frankfurt 1. Hugo Ekitike, magnificent. Liverpool deadly and dangerous, and they are back to winning ways and emphatic style. Chelsea also 5-1 winners over Ajax. It was a demolition in West London this evening. Spurs, the only English team this week to really let up with a 0-0 draw. They were actually battered by Monaco. How Monaco didn't win is absolutely beyond me. But listen, hit like buttons, get yourself subscribing, get that bell notification button turned on. A very, very important night for Liverpool. It was, well, look, it's important for every team every night in the Champions League, but for the context for Liverpool, 4 defeats on the bounce, it was very, very important that they won this match tonight. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at the Chelsea game. We're going to take some calls, bring on our panel later, and of course, react to your comments as well. So great to have so many of you here as always. Hold that, Terry. You think we would lose to Frankfurt? I didn't say you would lose to Frankfurt. I said if you did lose tonight, that I think it would have meant you'd lost to Brentford. But I also said if you win tonight, which you had a good chance of doing, that I think you'll go on to beat Brentford. What I've been saying for weeks, my friend, is that I think Liverpool fans that have been writing off your season are crazy. I think Liverpool fans who completely and utterly blame Slot were wrong. And tonight was very much proof of that. I'm going to go into it in more detail as well. And the fact Liverpool scored with set pieces, I'm not even going to lie. I think it's a thing of beauty. We're going to delve into all of that, though. We're going to take some of your calls. We're going to get your views. We're going to get your opinions on all of this. But I need to start with Liverpool. And Liverpool were pernicious, dangerous, deadly. They were so harmful to Frankfurt tonight. They took those 4 defeats on the bounce. They took that defeat to Man United at the weekend very personally. There was huge, in fact. I wouldn't even use the word big. There was absolutely huge changes by Arne Slot tonight, not just in terms of personnel. Correctly starting Hugo Ekitike, who, let's just have it right, he's been one of the signings of the summer. Not for Liverpool, for every Premier League club. Let's have it right. And I know that the Liverpool fans tuning in and watching, by the way, like, please, subscribe, hit the hype button for us as well. But I know every single Liverpool fan watching will agree that this man should have been starting multiple games. Of the 4, I think you lost at least 3 of the games you did with him starting on the bench. He should have been in those games because he's been a threat all season. Tonight, he was magnificent. He was potent. He was a thorn in Frankfurt's side, and he led the line brilliantly well in the second half. Again, another very good performance from him, and it was correct of Arne Slot, who's had a lot of criticism, to bring him back into the team. There's no doubt about it. What I also liked from Slot, and I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see it, because it's easier sometimes to talk through this when you can see it. If we put the away line up on there. Now, it shows it on my screen because I don't do the graphics. It's a 4-4-2. Interestingly, Liverpool were lined up in a 4-4-2 when they were defending. And what they did tonight, it was a great tactical change from Slot. Yes, Frankfurt were more open than other teams they've played. But Conor Bradley and Robertson did get forward, but it was almost like a one up and one down at times, meaning there wasn't as much space to exploit between the centre-backs and the wide areas as we saw Manchester United, Crystal Palace as examples do. Also, when they went into a 4, as you can see, when they were defending, and it was different players that started the game, when it went into a 4-4-2, it made them harder to break down. And yes, they got caught with a very good counter-attack early and conceded. But on reflection, I think this was actually a good thing. I think this was actually a positive thing for Liverpool, that they conceded first, because it gave them some adversity to get through, and they maintained their plan. But what Liverpool also did, which I think was absolutely key today, is they were deadly. As I mentioned, they were pernicious, they were damaging, they were harmful. They converted their chances. And in so many games recently, the Liverpool players haven't converted their chances. So there was a nice change to the shape, a subtle change out of possession, a subtle change that didn't leave so many holes. Ekitike starting was correct. Robertson back in at left back, absolutely fundamental on every level. Kirkes, I still think will work out to be a very good signing for Liverpool. But it's a different kettle of fish playing for your football club. It's a different kettle of fish playing for a club the size of Liverpool compared to a Bournemouth. I don't care how well Bournemouth do. I don't care if Bournemouth are in a Champions League final next season. The pressure is different. When you play for Liverpool, you're expected to win every game. You're expected to win every trophy that you're in. The level of scrutiny is higher. The margin for error is lower. Bournemouth are the kind of team that could be in the top 4 all season, miss out on the final day, and we'll all go, well done, great effort. If Liverpool haven't secured a top 4 position by March, it's questioned and challenged. There's a fundamental difference in the pressure. Right decision there. And then you have Mo Salah. No, you will not. I'm a United fan, as many of you watching know. Maybe you're new to the channel tonight. You won't find a bigger supporter of Salah outside of Liverpool than me. I think he's arguably, alongside Michael Carrick, one of the most disrespected Premier League football players of all time. So many of his talents are just underappreciated, played down, and ignored. But that all being said, he has been horrendous so far this season. In fact, he came on and wasn't much better. Should have squared the ball for Viets to get his first goal. And I get why he wants to score. But see that decision-making? And listen, it didn't decide the game. But if he does that in a close 0-0, close 1-1, a game when you're a goal down, and I've got to score. When the better option was to square it, that's problematic. But Slot was brave tonight. Slot stood up and said, no, I don't care he's our most expensive player ever, salary-wise. I don't care he's our greatest player ever. He isn't performing. I need to do something different. And that first half was maybe the best overall performance Liverpool have put in all season. Second half, they go on to score more goals. Viets with his first assist. Szoboszlai with another wonder goal. And as I've said, a very dangerous display. I think Liverpool are back. I think we are going to now start to see these performances from Liverpool get better. The only way this goes wrong now is if Slot goes back to the system that was getting exploited. I think he's got to start rewarding meritocracy. I understand what Liverpool fans have said about we've got to get Isak firing. We've got to get Kerkez working. Not at the behest of picking up points early in the season. Your new signings have time to be bedded in, to come on from the bench, to have time out of the team. I mean, touching wood isn't bad for him. Does look like Isak's now out with an injury. But for me, it's hard because Frimpong's now out. I would still look to start against Brentford without Mohamed Salah, in my personal opinion. Now, you may see it differently, but I would reward the players that started. I would reward the players whom got you this 5-1 win tonight with another berth. I think it encourages the right behavior. I think it encourages the right attitude. And it will also put the bit between the teeth for Mo Salah. And maybe, I heard Jermaine Pennant say this, and I know Jermaine Pennant isn't on the same level as Mo Salah, but he's been in dressing rooms, and I think he's right. You've got to let even Mo Salah know that his position in the team is not secured. You need to create that competition. And it'll be interesting to see whether it be Chiesa comes into the team, whether it be a younger player. But Liverpool look very, very good tonight. And I did think maybe the most beautiful, maybe the most poetic, maybe the most impressive part of tonight was the set pieces. And I see Jamie Carragher tweet that when he's been moaning about set pieces, he was only talking about throw-in. He put a clip out where he was moaning about throw-ins and long balls. But we've certainly heard him moan about corners and set pieces in general. We've all heard him do that in the last year. And it was almost poetically, rustically, ironically beautiful that Liverpool's 2 most important goals in the game came from, again, very well taken set pieces. There is zero wrong with it. No matter how many you score, whether it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it matters not. The important thing is to put the ball into the back of the net. It's an important part of a team's arsenal, and it always has been an important part of a team's arsenal to put the ball into the back of the net from set pieces. And there was just something, again, as a football fan, you're not going to see me call Liverpool out for scoring set pieces when I think they're an important part. I just don't do that. I just don't behave in that way. Liverpool, this is what I will say, Liverpool need more of them. Liverpool need more of them. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. In fact, do you know what's really funny? Do you know what's really, really funny? 50 52% of Arsenal's league goals this season have been from set pieces. Do you know that 50% of Liverpool's Champions League goals have been from set pieces? This is why when we all sit in, all football clubs are in this space. We sit in these things called glass houses, and we so regularly sit in these glass houses throwing stones. Don't. 4 set-piece goals for Liverpool now in the Champions League. 2 goals on the counter-attack, 2 goals from open play. So 50% of their goals from set pieces. And by the way, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Zero wrong with Arsenal doing that whatsoever. It's correct. You want more. Listen, if you could forget the percentage, right? Forget the percentage. If you could score 20, 30, 40 goals from set pieces a season, do it. And with Van Dijk and Konate, you deliver crosses like that into the box, you can really punish teams. But overall, it was fantastic. And another really important statistic, and I say stat, I'm going to stop using the word stat because people like to laugh at them when they're stats. One of the most important facts tonight from the game is that Arsenal scored 5 goals from 18 shots in this match, okay? Which means 27% of their shots went in. Now, that's an astronomically high conversion rate on shots. It was actually 5 from 14 on target, which makes it higher depending on which fact you want to use. But as I pointed out, by the way, 11 big chances created. As I pointed out in the previous 4 games where they lost, there were so many chances in those football matches to score, and they didn't take them. That is also a key component, which was never for me on the manager. And what it did is Frankfurt started well tonight. Liverpool then took over. Frankfurt scored against a run of play. Had Liverpool not got a goal back, had Ekitike missed that chance, had those corners been poorly taken, and they go in at halftime 1-0 down, there's no knowing the confidence of Frankfurt coming out for the second half. Do Liverpool start feeling that pressure? Does it make it harder for them? Converting chances and converting your opportunities. Yes, shape and system and defensive errors and stuff. All these things, right, can damage and hurt you in a game. But scoring goals is so fundamental. And tonight, Liverpool have gone from a 4% conversion rate in their last 4 games to 27% tonight. Okay? Scoring your chances. I mean, I know this is going to sound like a weird thing, but you know, when you score goals, you have a very, very good chance of winning. But overall tonight, I thought Liverpool were fantastic. Deserved their win massively. Well done to you. Do me a favor, please, hit the like button. Like, share, subscribe, and of course, hit that hype button as well. Let's get to some more of your comments that have come in here. This says, remember the name Esteval, the kid is something. Yeah, listen, I thought Chelsea were great tonight. It was a hard game to concentrate on. And I'll tell you why it was a hard game to concentrate on. Because once it went like 3-1, 4-1, and that you were playing against 10 men, it was really difficult to... It was really, really difficult to... how do I say this in the right way? One second. Someone sent me a message. It was really difficult to focus on the game because it was done. Does that make sense? It was almost like a non-event as soon as that happened. But yeah, I thought Esteval was excellent tonight. I thought the whole Chelsea team were great. But those early red cards, it just, again, from a non-Chelsea fan watching, it just felt like you were going through the motions. But you did blow them out of the water. You took your chances. You scored some excellent goals. And a deadly night tonight. And we'll go into that in more detail in a moment. I didn't understand why folks hating on set pieces. They are an important part of goal scoring. I bet Husam cheered everyone going in. Of course, people just like to hate. Our game may need investigating with how many red cards we see in them. Just a training session of a football match really saw Gittins shine tonight. Yeah, he was very, very good. German opponent, Wirtz found his level and ends his duct, is what Dyke says here. That's from earlier on. That's from last night. I don't know why that's all there, but there we go. Van Dijk and Konate goals. See, they will celebrate and tell me this is sustainable. Gakpo goal. See, that's a good goal. Liverpool fans have a scapegoat. You know what's funny? Listening to the Liverpool fans review their recent losses, I found it consistently strange. Genuinely, I found it consistently strange because some just wanted to dump it all on the manager. Others were just purely going in on certain players. And I couldn't help for the life of me as an outsider look at it and go, well, it's both, isn't it? I was looking from the outside like, both are problematic here to some degree. Surely, both are. But that's just me. Anyone crying about Liverpool's set pieces tonight? No, they won't be, and they shouldn't be. And do you know what my message to Arsenal fans is, though? And you can take this or leave it. It's your choice, freedom to do what you want. I wouldn't do the tit for tat thing. I would take the moral high ground and just say, brilliant corners, well done, and just leave it there. Trust me, just take the moral high ground. If you really want to banter people, sometimes don't react. That gets under their skin more, trust me. Trust me. Don't do the tit for tat thing. Just praise it. And they'll be like, what? What's going on? Just my talk. Stop talking about Arsenal. They didn't play tonight. Well, I'm not going to ignore my viewers. So when people make a comment like that, you clearly know what they're referring to, which people criticized set pieces last night. I'm not going to ignore my viewers, my friend. Why would I ever ignore the audience? The audience, a lot of YouTubers don't realize this. They think they're the star of their show. They think they're the most important part. They're not. It's your audience. And every YouTuber that knows their audience is the most important bit. They're the most successful ones. There are some really good content creators that talk great things about football, but they don't grow. And it's because they don't really interact with their audience. They don't make their audience feel like they're the important ones. Imagine I ignored everything you guys said. This is weird. This is weird. Very, very strange indeed. Terry, what are your thoughts on Chelsea tonight? Let me say this in the right way. Let me just move this on my screen a second. Sorry, peeps. Sorry. So, there we go. Chelsea were really strong tonight. Really, really strong. Now, I get straight away off the bat, people will say, played against 10 men for a large part, training ground game, didn't really learn anything. Loads of goals, great, but we move on to the next. I feel it's more than that. I really feel that Chelsea is starting to cook. I really do. I think it's 5 wins in the last 6 matches. I know you didn't have a great first half in your last Premier League game, but some subtle changes were made. Guy was put up front and 10 times better, smashed it 3-0. You beat Liverpool brilliantly and dramatically. And tonight, yes, the red card comes. And the goal, you score literally from the free kick from the red card. But why did the red card come? It wasn't a punch. It wasn't a kick. It was an Ajax team that were being stretched from very, very early on. You then score another goal. Caicedo shoots. Yes, it's deflected. But again, that deflection happened because Ajax were panicking. They get a goal back, a bit of a mistake from tossing. They score a Weghorst. I didn't know he was there, to be fair. Scores a pen. And then goes and gives away a penalty a few minutes later. Why? Desperation. Chelsea tonight made Ajax desperate. Chelsea tonight did to Ajax what we saw happen to Chelsea at Old Trafford. There was panic. They made some substitutions. They took off a player. I don't know who the player. I don't know many players at Ajax. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't ever profess to know everything about all teams. But the Ajax fans were booing and singing songs about Johnny Heitinger and really having a go at him. Made a mistake. And they were all at sea. The whole team was. And that was a lot of that was Chelsea's doing. Chelsea tonight were just destructive to Ajax. They were maleficent. I really feel it reminds me a little bit of last season, where Chelsea started a little slowly at the beginning of the campaign and started to grow and cook as they went into September, into October, moving into the November period. And I feel we're starting to see that with Chelsea again now. I really, really do. And yes, only 1 goal in the second half, and some people might criticize that. Some people might look at it and say, well, I wanted more. It's not enough. We should be doing X. We should be doing Y. We should be doing Z. We should be killing the game off. And I understand that. But I actually look at it from the other perspective as an outsider. There was no need 4-1 up. There was no need when you scored that 5th goal quite early in the second half. Your players did not need to run themselves into the ground. Your players didn't need to break their back, covering every blade of grass. They needed to remain honest. They needed to remain respectful. They needed to remain vigilant and have an air of competency about them. But they didn't need to go for the jugular anymore. It was done. The game was finished. The game was over. Finito. No more. And that, for me, was more the signs of an experienced team. I was just listening to the commentators, and they kept on saying that, Chelsea, they could have gone for the jugular. They were essentially saying a young team, a slightly more experienced team would have done X, would have done Y, would have done Z, would have had more control, would have had more of this. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, look at the stats on my screen right now. What do you mean more control? What do you mean more control? It doesn't matter about who has the ball at every minute. 2 shots in the whole game. One of them was a penalty. The prior shot, the first shot, came when it was 11v11. It was dominance on every single level. Could they have scored some more goals? Yes. But they didn't need to. What I thought was grown up, what I thought was mature, what I thought shows that Chelsea are really starting to blend together nicely. They're becoming something that they're becoming something that is blossoming nicely, considering the start of the season was a little bit hit and miss. And I predicted you guys to be in the title race. And you all know what I mean by the title race, within real mathematical reach going into the last 10 games, a win or 2 away. And I still think you will be. I don't think you're going to be 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 points behind the leaders. I don't think you will be. You're just kind of finding your feet now. And tonight was just one of those games. And if I wasn't reviewing football matches as a job, if I wasn't so fortunate to have people like yourself subscribing and watching, what I would have done with that Chelsea game when it went 3-1 is turned it off. And that's no disrespect to Chelsea. There are no rivals that watch that second half of your game. No one. Unless they're doing a hate-along, unless they cover football like I do. That's it. There's no reason for anyone else to watch it. And I think that's a sign. I think it's a very good sign. I used to love it. Just go to school or go to work. I did watch United's game yesterday, only the first 20 minutes. Why? He went 2-0 up. I turned it off then. And I know you will do that because it's a very normal thing to do. I don't know about you, unless a rival's playing another big team in the league or in the Champions League. Typically, we tune in hoping they lose, and as soon as they go 1-0 up, maybe 2-0 up, we often all turn off. And Chelsea did that to millions of people tonight. They went over to the Spurs game, or they probably went, oh, we'll go watch Liverpool. Oh God, they're 3-1 up. I bet you fine. I'd love to see the figures on TNT Sport in the UK. I guarantee you, Liverpool and Chelsea had all the viewers. And then you saw rivals switch off and all go to the Tottenham game. Or, watch Madrid play or Bayern Munich or something along those lines. I don't think people would watch Tottenham. No disrespect, Tottenham. But there we go. But I like what Chelsea did tonight. And I think Chelsea's fans, what I find with Chelsea supporters at the minute is I always know when Chelsea fans genuinely start to believe. I see it on my shows. Well, let me rephrase that. I always know when the Chelsea fans who watch and are part of our community here are starting to believe by the names in my chat, the people that turn up, the people that come and give opinions. I can always tell when Chelsea, and I think there's a couple of more wins, and there's going to be a real excitement around Stamford Bridge. Maybe not people getting carried away. Maybe not people talking shit about other big clubs or big teams or saying they're going to win this and win that. But I just think a few more wins, a few more games of a lot of goals being scored, and I think there'll be a lot of excitement around Stamford Bridge. I really, really do. I don't think there was rightful criticism earlier on in this campaign, but I felt that, and how do I say this in the right way? I felt that, again, people, just like with Liverpool's blip, I think people were just going over the top. I think people were just exaggerating 3, 4, 5 games into the season. And I keep hearing things like, well, you can't be that happy as a Chelsea or Liverpool fan. Man United are only a couple of points behind you. You do know that we've won like 50% of our games. I'm just pointing that out, right? We're bad, and I'm not defending my club because we need to get better. But if we'd have won one more of them, we'd be moving into a percentage of win rates that gets you into Champions League football. So just pointing that out to people, just for the facts, banter aside. But listen, well done to Chelsea tonight. I said this after the Liverpool game. I felt like that was going to spur you on. You're back. I said after the win at the weekend that I feel like you're cooking. And I mean it. I really do think this Chelsea team is blossoming very, very nicely indeed. So that answers your question about how I think Chelsea did tonight. I think they did so well that every single rival that was tuning in was switched off at the very latest by halftime. That's it. You made everybody stop watching your club tonight. Every rival stop watching your club. And I think that is something to be proud of. Hit that like button, please, if you haven't done so already, and get yourselves subscribing to the show as well. Right. I'm going to bring the panel out in a few moments' time. Z here says, as a rival desperate not to see Arsenal succeed. By the way, people are going to get angry. You mentioned Arsenal. I'm not allowed to mention them, but you did. Sorry. You'll never see me downplay a style if it works. People can't seem to understand that their preference isn't always will always be a reality. Worst Ajax team ever. Yeah, I mean, Ajax have fallen off a little bit considering what they were a few years ago. But the style thing's interesting. The people I find interesting are the Chelsea fans online who attack pragmatic football. And they say it's wrong, it's horrible, it's nasty. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, you must be young because you're undoing your own history. And I always find that with people. United fans are like, imagine winning games by set pieces. You clearly weren't alive when the treble was won. It's why I don't play these silly games, because those silly games always end up damaging a legend at your own club or a game that's important at your own club. And in the pursuit of just point scoring, I find it boring. Spurs fans are so pissed at Frank. It's only his first ever Champions League. Patience. I get why they are, but the Spurs fans are doing what Spurs fans always do. They always think they're better than they really are. Spurs have done it my whole life. And even when they get something good, and there's a lot of fans in the chat that are from London or from the South, so they'll know this better than Tom Little. Spurs fans will get something good. Like when they had Gareth Bale. Oh, amazing, amazing. I remember when he left, there was a young player that was coming through that was a winger called Andros Townsend. And he had a really good start to his life at Spurs. I just remember every Spurs fan, we've got the new Bale straight away. He'll be that level. Yeah, will he really? There was something about Tottenham fans. More, I used to work with Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans, United, Liverpool, all of them in that period doing so much better than Spurs. But none more arrogant than Tottenham, and I never understood it. I couldn't quite work out, but obviously it's an inferiority complex. It's like a Yorkshire Terrier. You know how noisy they are? It's because, you know what I mean? One of them barked at my dog today, and I just laughed. And the owner was like, what are you laughing at? I said, what, sorry? He goes, why are you laughing at my dog? I said, I didn't laugh at your dog, like your dog's got feelings. I was like, we laughing at a dog. I was like, no, I'm laughing at the fact that it wasn't actually a Yorkshire Terrier. It was like a kind of sausagey doggy cross with something else. Little thing, probably about this big, right? I'm just laughing at the fact that he's really he was like this and really barking at my dog. Now my Rocco, he's last time I weighed him, he was at 52 kilos, working line German Shepherd, bite capacity of about 350 pounds per square inch. That's typical for a dog his size. He's a lovely boy. He ever come around my house? Not that I'm inviting you, but if you do, and let you know where I live, safe will be when they're hiding in my bins. But like, if you did and you walked through my dog, lovely. Try and hurt one of my kids, it's over. But he was like, why are you laughing at my dog? I said, I'm not laughing at your dog. I said, it's your dog. I said, it's just funny that he's acting like he ain't scared, but if I took Rocky off his lead, maybe in my head, he would, and I wouldn't ever do it because I would never hurt another animal. But I was like, I'm going to take Rocky off the lead just for a giggle to see what his dog does. I couldn't believe he got so angry. Why are you laughing at my dog? I couldn't believe he got angry. Like the dog had feelings. Couldn't believe it. Some people are strange, man. Yes, mate. God forbid we want better for our club. But it's not about I don't think it's about not wanting better for your club. That isn't what I'm saying. But it's going to take time for you to improve this squad. It's going to take time for you to get yourselves to where you want to be. And I feel that Tottenham this season, I feel like in all comps are about where you are. You've got to remember this Monaco team drew with Man City. And you're not as good as Man City. So the point I'm making is that if you make it into the top 16 sides or into the playoffs and then into the knockout stage, you've done well. You're probably not even in the top 12 favourites to win it. I don't. I mean, what's the league table set? Champions League. Let's have a little look. UCL table. I mean, you're already. Let's have a little look here. Right, so these teams, I'll name the teams that are definitely ahead of you in the pecking order: PSG, Bayern Munich, Inter, Arsenal, Madrid, Dortmund, City, Barca, Liverpool, Chelsea. So there's 10 already that I think are better teams than you. Okay, you're sitting 15th in the table at the moment, by the way. But below you in the table, who do I still think's better than you? I think Marseille, Atletico Madrid, Napoli, Juve. Who else do I think in there probably better than you? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. So I'm looking there at 14 odd teams that I'd say are better than you. You're kind of sitting 14th, 15th. If you ended up coming in 9th, that's a really good achievement. Those other teams have better teams, better squads, or more European know-how. I get you want better, but at the same time, it always feels, bro, and you've been a long-time member, 33 months as it shows, and you know how much I appreciate you here, but it's going to take time to get yourselves to that point again because your club broke itself to pieces over the last 5-6 years by not having any real direction, putting together just the squad needs improvement. But, I don't know who your next game is. Win your next game, go on to 8 points. I mean, you could end the next match day in the top 8, which is automatic qualification. I really don't feel like you're in this bad a place. You haven't been great the last few games, but there's always going to be up and downs, which is why when Frank came in and won his first few games, everyone's like, oh my God, I want a manager who does that. Just let the dust settle. Frank is still going to go through this because your squad is slightly above average. So you're never going to get consistency with slightly above average. I don't personally think anyway. Come on, you gooners, hit the like button is what Luke Skywalker says here. Don't talk about Arsenal. I'll get in trouble. People don't like it for some reason. They get very, 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 very angry. Right. Time to bring the panel out now to have their say on the show. Let me move the scores off my screens for a momento. Let me move that. Let me get rid of the lineups. We'll just keep the table up on the screen. Let me remove the comments. Let me move myself there to this. There is the there it is. Here we go. Right, Tom Little's here. Husam, Barnsey Boy, Eli, Surfer, Samuel, Rat, all with me here. Gentlemen, good evening, one and all. 10 goals scored between all three teams tonight.
No Tottenham fans?
No Tottenham fans.
They always hide, Terry. They always hide.
None. Tom. Slot got it right tonight. Made some tactical changes, dropped the right players, picked the right players, and lo and behold, your players on the pitch also deliver. And guess what happens? You win.
Yeah, simple, isn't it? You just start playing a system that doesn't completely vacate the midfield, have good passes in your pivot, and all of a sudden you look like a competent. The amount of control we had in that game today was brilliant. I can't think of many big chances, if any, they created against us. Even the goal, it's a great finish. I wouldn't exactly say I was annoyed at the fact that it was a great chance. It was more of a great finish than anything. And on the ball, the midfield today, Curtis Jones and Dominic Szoboszlai's a double pivot was absolutely immense. Absolutely immense. Curtis Jones was fantastic at what he does. He's fantastic at what he does, and he never gets the credit he deserves because people think he should be something he's not. Curtis Jones is so important at just keeping things ticking over, and Liverpool have missed that the last couple of games, and we really needed it today, and he brought that and he freed everyone else up around him. Robertson was able to platform himself to have a great game because of what Curtis Jones was doing. Cody Gakpo was able to platform himself to have a great game because of what Curtis Jones was doing. Same with Florian Wirtz. Same with Dominic Szoboszlai. They all had great games, and part of that is on them, but part of that is on the work that Curtis Jones was doing in that part of the pitch, drifting into cover spaces where it was needed, playing the progressive passes that this team has so badly missed in the last couple of weeks. And in fact, not in that, in all season, really. We've really not had progressive passing all season, bar when Curtis Jones has played. I quite like the setup going forwards. I think that if you're going to play Salah in this setup in the future, because I think we need to stick with this setup, I think this setup is exactly what was envisioned when we bought certain players in the summer. The right back is going so high and so far forwards. That's why we bought Frimpong. Shame to see him get injured again today. You know, he hasn't got injured for 3 years now. We buy him and he gets 2 injuries in 2 months. So, you know, what can you do? But I quite like the setup going forward today. It suits a lot of the players more. I thought Florian Wirtz had the best game in the Liverpool shirt. Now he's got more assists than the likes of Eber Chiesa and Xavi Simons this season. So, you know, we can put that in. We can push that one to the side. We take what we can get there. The only, kind of annoyance is Isak didn't really get into the game. You know, I'd like to see him get involved a little bit more. And then people are going to go on at Salah at the end. You should have squared it. Yeah, if the game was in the balance, I'd want him to square it. But at the end of the day, you know this as much as I do, Teddy. Goal scorers are the most selfish players on the pitch, especially one that hasn't scored for a while. So if he's put through in a one-on-one and it seems 5-1 up in the 90th minute, he's not passing. So as much as I would like him to pass, I can't exactly go, oh my God, how dare you not do that? Because if it goes in, all of a sudden he's got his confidence back and we're flying. So but I'm happy with the performance today. I thought every single starter, bar from Frimpong, got 19 minutes on the pitch. Every single starter was brilliant at what they needed to do. And that's the kind of win that we need to get the confidence back, and we need to get the good feeling back around the football club. That, you know, we can build off this, we can work off this. Brentford at 8 o'clock on Saturday, get another win there, and all of a sudden we're looking back at this last 4 games as just what it was, a blip, and we can really push on again in this season.
I hear you on that. Husam, I will get you taking the game, but a question I had, would you keep Mo Salah now on the bench for the next game after your team improved massively without him today in this adjusted system?
I think, first of all, you're being completely illogical if you think that this is just because we dropped Salah, because Gravenberg didn't play today.
I didn't say that in my whole monologue, and I literally said to Tom, changes to the system, the right players coming in and the right players.
Okay, regardless, you didn't say it, but anyway, I wouldn't change anything.
I absolutely said system changes by the manager, the right players being dropped, and the right players coming back into the team. Okay. So 3 things I said, not just Salah being dropped.
I would completely play the same exact team that he played today. Just run it back. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, we don't need to change a single thing from the starting 11 today. Credit to Arne Slot, because he changed the system completely. He changed the players completely. He changed the way that we played. He played Isak and Ekitike with each other, with Florian Wirtz as well. You know, but I will say though, the Florian Wirtz assist did come from when he was playing down the middle. So it's not like when he was playing on the right. He didn't get any assists from playing down the right. That's actually where he lost the ball for the goal we conceded. But I think this was an immense victory for us. You get me? Didn't lose 5 in a row. When we went 1-0 down, I was just thinking of I was like, there is no way we're really about to lose to Frankfurt.
Mate, I had some amazing music ready for you tomorrow morning if you lost 5 on the bounce, bruv. I was ready. I was ready.
All that. Let us breathe, man. 4 losses in a row is enough already. You get me? So thank God we won today's game genuinely. And I'm so happy for Arne, because he changed the way that we played. He changed our structure. I think it worked. For me, the second half actually is where the real change was. Because the second half, he substituted Isak off. He brought on Chiesa. And all of a sudden, we look a lot more fluid because Wirtz is down the middle. So that's something I want to see more of. I want to see Wirtz down the middle more. And I think he cooked today. He got 2 assists. You get me? We're claiming it. We're claiming the second assist. We don't care, even though Szoboszlai did all that. But you guys have been talking about GA all day from when he was signed. So he deserves this today. I'm very happy for him. I think Curtis Jones cooked. I think Szoboszlai cooked. Everyone cooked. So for me, listen, our first win in 4 games. Don't change a single thing for Saturday. Just literally run it back. Completely run it back. Obviously, the only thing we can't run back is Frimpong because he's injured. So you get me. That's the only one. But other than that, just run the whole team back.
Isak went off with an injury as well.
Yeah, he's got a groin. He's got a groin problem.
Well, fucking hell.
Good
To be
good
fair,
job we
no,
got-
but
good
to be fair,
job we got Ekitike. Good job we got Ekitike. That's
yeah, exactly.
Yep, true.
Sorry,
true.
Sad just he made me sorry. I'm not laughing at the injury. I'll be very clear. He made me like, gotta think of what to say. Oh fucking hell! It's so funny.
I didn't even know that. I thought he just substituted him off. I didn't know.
Nah,
he was-
No,
Slot's just
Slot's
come
come out
out. Is a growing problem. He's got a growing problem.
That's not good. That's not good. But I hear you. No, I listen. I agree with what you said by and large, though. And by the way, I will reiterate again. I think just dropping Salah isn't the reason that you were better tonight. I just think your team had more balance. I like the fact you went to 4-4-2 when you were defending, which means there was less space for teams to pass through. And Hugo Ekitike, and I know he hasn't been mentioned so much yet. Just this man,
He has
Isak
changed
fit,
my
Isak not
life.
fit. Hugo Ekitike's got to keep starting in these
He's got
games,
it.
Sam. I mean,
I am so glad we bought this guy. I'm so happy. You get me? Tom knows this. He's a fraud, but he knows this. I was the one doing the most Ekitike prop in the summer. Like I love
Wait,
Hugo Ekitike. I'm so happy we signed the guy. Today he changed my life. Remember the video that Henri was doing on Jokeres? Like Ekitike literally did exactly what Henri said
Yeah.
Jokeres should do against Bilbao, where he just ran across him
ran across.
immediately and pow finished it. And I was just he genuinely changed my life. I'm so happy we signed Hugo Ekitike, honestly, because today, even without the goal, his touches, the way that he links up play, the way that he plays with the players around, he's just so good, honestly. And that's why for me, man, just run it back. Arnie, except Isak, we can't now. So I don't know.
I mean,
That's
obviously, people were saying, "Oh, Isak's got an injury, might be a bit of a problem." But personally, for me, I think Chiesa and Ekitike as a partnership together, I think it may work a lot better compared to Isak and Ekitike, because let's be honest, when it's
I mean,
when
we do realise that Chiesa's not starting on the weekend, though. It's going to
He's
be
not
Salah and
starting.
Ekitike.
I
Bro,
want
okay,
him
just
to,
let me,
but he won't.
Tom, just let me just say what I want to say, bro. Just let me say what I want to say, regardless if he's going to start. But Chiesa and Ekitike, I feel like the balance between the both of them just works really, really well. And it's a role that Chiesa is not too dissimilar and knows how to play. He played that for Juventus both pre-ACL and post-ACL. So for me, I'm not too worried about it. I like the fact that Wirtz, even though it was an unfamiliar position on the right, the last time he played that was back in 2019, which is mad to say. But him going into the middle, occupying central areas was great. I think him and Frimpong together, overlapping, just gave us so much width and so much dangerous opportunities to create chances. So all in all, it's a great performance. Look, I'm not going to get carried away. I think that's the most important thing. I know what Frankfurt's like. I know they've been up and down with their results. You don't know what you're going to get with Frankfurt
Look at
this
this party
season.
pooper. Oh, I'm not
You
going to get
party
carried away.
pooper. But if you let me finish, but the
Our
real
first
test,
1 in 5, bro. Smile.
if you let me finish, the reason why I say that is because we got a massive test against Brentford away from home, which is notorious to being quite a bit of a bogey place for us. So if we can get a result from there, then we'll go again. I can truly say we got the wheels back on the bus.
I hear you. I'm going to come back to some more Liverpool chat in a minute. Winter Surfer, 5-1 to Chelsea tonight as well.
Yeah. He made 10 changes today, Terry, as well. On the is my mic off?
It's better now.
Okay. So he made 10 changes from the Forest game. So it was basically it was a great performance. We got we got a red card. Well, not for us, but we got a red card in our game. So we keep our run of red cards in games going. So it's like 6 in a row now, but just not one for us today. Good performances. Estevao, outstanding. But I heard what you said earlier, Terry, about people feeling confident. I think if this team beats Barcelona in 3 weeks, then people get real confident about this team in the Champions League, because that'll be a big statement.
I agree with you. Just as someone who's covered Chelsea for many years, and what a lot of people don't realize, the Football Terrace has a massive Chelsea following, and I always know when your fan base, by and large, isn't feeling totally confident, just by, and it might sound arrogant to some people, just sometimes by the numbers that turn up to a game, a match reaction when you win. I can always tell when you beat Liverpool, there was this euphoria. Say it was crazy, it was mad, and it sort of died down. I think that you guys, as a collective, it's kind of like I'm happy with one, but I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest until maybe a few more.
I think the international break probably helped as well with that. Do you know what I mean? Because we didn't have like a game the following like a few days later or a week later that we couldn't like build up to it. But yeah, he made changes today. He made more changes in the second half. We were able to take Fernandes off and Caicedo off. We didn't have to play Reece James, Cucurella, or Neto today as well. He really rotated. He treated this game like a Carabao Cup game, if I'm being honest with you, after a red card. He just like put even more youngsters on. I think at one point the average age of the team was like 19 today on the pitch.
Wow.
We had 3 teenagers who scored. Gree got whatever his name is. I call him Mark, so I can't pronounce his name probably. But Mark scored, and he was our youngest player. And 30 minutes later, Esteban scored to make it a young player as well. So
Dave, call him Dave. Call him Dave.
Yes, yeah.
Like Aspilicueta, Dave.
But yeah,
John.
But yeah, I mean that second half, it just looked like friends having a kick about at the park. Just the way they were just passing the ball about, creating chances. I give you, I don't see why we have to bulldoze, like run ourselves into the ground in October. Do you know what I mean? We put our goal difference in a healthier position than it was at the start of the competition. We got carrier bag up next away. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully we get the points before we play Barcelona. But it was more important to keep momentum going throughout this run. We need to build up a series of wins to get more confidence from the fans. And I just want to say Weghorst today was brilliant today. He scored a penalty, gave away a penalty, could have got sent off, got his head busted open, and he was all over the place. That was
honestly, I have to say this. I didn't think I'd ever say this. When I saw him, I felt this sense of warmth. I don't realize how much I loved him at Man United. Like, I didn't like him as a player. He was like another mascot, if that made sense. It was like, oh, it's Weghorst. He's just a nice bloke. He got his head cut open. He had a game tonight, didn't he? He had a game tonight, but
it was that. If anyone said that was a red card for the Ajax player, because that was just a lunging tackle on the ankle. Yeah. That was, but they lost their heads at the end of the first half. They just gave away 2 penalties, and then the game was done anyway. But they just lost their heads at the end of the first half, gave away the penalties. Fernandes and Caicedo score again. I think they're our joint top scorers this season, like 4 or 5. But there we go.
I hear you. I want to ask Elijah, what did you make of Esther Wow?
I mean, listen, that's what I'm going to have to call him from now on, Esther Wow, because he was outstanding tonight, Terry. Like, for me, I would have given Esteval the man of the match rather than Jamie Gittins, because Jamie Gittins was very good, but Esteval was outstanding today, Terry. Like, he could have scored 4 or 5 goals today, Terry, because he had a shot. He tried a bicycle kick that was off target. He had 2 shots that were straight at the goalkeeper. And there was one time where Jamie Gittins made a good cross into Esteval, and he couldn't get a touch on it. So he could have scored 4 or 5 goals today, but he was outstanding today. And listen, everyone played well today. Everyone played well. Jamie Gittins was very good tonight. Mark Gu scored his first start in the Champions League as well, which was good. I thought Caicedo was amazing. Like, every time I see Caicedo, he always scores long-range goals. Yes, that took a deflection, but as long as it goes in the back of the net, that's all I care about, I thought Hater was really good today defensively. I thought Weisel Fana was superb. Got the assist for Mark Gu's goal as well. I think the only players that really frustrated me tonight, Tay, was Tosin and Philip Jorgensen, because Tosin stupidly gave away a penalty, which was definitely a penalty because he made a contact on Weghorst, and then he scored a goal, and then he was so lucky not to get another yellow card, because if he saw a Weghorst blood, that was just awful. The way I just saw blood all over his face. So for me, the way Enzo Maresca managed this game was good, because Tosin deserved to be off because he was awful today. And then the substitutes came on and done their thing. Santos got the assist for Terry George, who scored 3 minutes into the second half. And yeah, listen, it was a very good game. It could have been like 9 or 10 goals tonight, but as long as we get the 3 points and as long as we win the game, that's all that matters. But I'm not gonna guess. I'm not gonna, celebrate that much because Ajax were terrible, Terry. They were absolutely terrible. They just lost their heads after that red card. They gave away 2 penalties in like 5 minutes into the first half, and they were just awful. But listen, it's another win. We got Sunderland next, so hopefully we can win that game. And listen, we managed. And the crazy thing is, Terry, I got to start for SFL so far this season. This is crazy. So SFL is the youngest player in Premier League history to assist a goal for Chelsea, which was against West Ham, by the way. He was the youngest Brazilian to score the winning goal in the Premier League, which was against Liverpool. And now tonight, he's the youngest goal scorer in Chelsea's Champions League history. This guy's getting better and better and better. And also, Chelsea are the first team in Champions League history to have 3 teenagers score for them in a single match. So SFL scored tonight, and he's 80 years old. Tari Jones scored. He's 19 years old. And Mark Gu scored, and he's also 90 years old as well. So listen, as much as I was complaining about the us signing young players, you know what? It's starting to work. We're starting to be clinical in the final third, and we're winning games. So as long as we build on this consistently, then I think Chelsea will do well this season.
Yeah, listen, I hear a lot of what you're saying there, my friend. I really, really do. Sam. Not Husam, Sam. Talk to me about Liverpool tonight as well. I don't know what your take of it has been. You've been quite quiet on the whole matter, but 2 set-piece goals as well. We haven't mentioned that yet. The dreaded set-piece goals tonight scored. I mean,
and
Sam,
3 open play goals. So hold that.
Right. You do realize, I want to give a stat. Have you seen the stat that's come out? Your percentage of set-piece goals in the Champions League is the same as Arsenal's percentage in the Premier League. Just want to point that out.
Nice.
Yeah, but that's look at you. You're so shameful.
Nice.
You're actually so shameful.
No, I'm not shameful. I think set piece goals are an important part of the game. They should be celebrated.
You're 3 games in the UCL,
attacking them. I'm not shameful. I'm consistent. I'm saying it's very good. But Sam,
much smaller sample size.
Percentages are percentages.
To be fair,
in a smaller sample size.
Yeah.
You won right today, Sam. Right? You won 5-1. You're very
but that is gonna be shameless with a set piece thing.
No. Ram won 5-1. Rack won 5-1. Sam won 5-1. Husam won 3-1.
Like I said, take away set piece goals.
Say Sam, back to you, brother. What are you saying about your win today?
It's actually nice to finally get the corners right, because we haven't scored corners in a very long time. Yet we got a guy in 6'4" in Virgil van Dijk, 6'4" in Konate, and we finally score. Sorry, the reason why I wasn't on the Man United stream was because I wasn't feeling well at all. You can even still hear it in my voice. But yeah, no, it's actually nice to finally get a win. Boy, it's actually nice to finally get a win. But first of all, I would say the system change was a nice change. I still feel like the players will need to get used to it. I feel like they scored the goal against us, Frankfurt, because there was just a mix-up, especially in the midfield. I think Szoboszlai ran into whoever was running that to right back. But other than that, it was a good strike back then. But I'm not going to lie to you. I said it at Chelsea. I said drop Salah. Seems like it wasn't that bad of an idea, was it? One thing about the whole problem with Liverpool was that, yes, Slot was at the helm of a lot of our problems. The way we were starting games, our system was rubbish, absolute rubbish. But when you take into account McAllister was on poor form, that's whether to do with his injury or he's just running out of legs. Salah practically playing against the team. When you actually have players that are actually in form, like Ekitike, like Chiesa, that are playing, you can see a difference. Now, I'm not trying to lambast these players, but it gets to a point where let's start playing players that actually are in form. Let's actually start playing a system that works. So, yes, against Brentford, and I'm not really going to take it too over the top with certain things, because Brentford is another test. But let's just run it back with Brentford. Let's just keep composure and let's just get a winning run back again. But yeah, no, the game was good. And one thing I also loved as well, which we've lost over the past couple of games, our pressing was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The way we will press the ball from the front. If Frankfurt tried to play through the middle, boom, two players are on that person with the ball. As soon we get the ball back, control. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see all the time. Curtis Jones was absolutely brilliant today. Szoboszlai was absolutely brilliant today. That double pivot was brilliant. I agree with Tom with that. So yeah, let's just keep this up. Ekitike, it's unfortunate that Isak is injured. I didn't actually know that. I thought he got taken off, but apparently he's got a groin injury. But well, we got Ekitike.
Am I wrong? Is that the same double pivot that played against Palace or Bournemouth at the start of the season? Or am I going crazy?
No, I don't think we. Oh,
actually, no, we've never played them. Yeah,
no, I remember playing them both.
I'm gonna check it now.
Because
you're saying the Bournemouth game?
I think it might have been the Bournemouth.
No, we didn't play them against Bournemouth. He started McAllister.
Yeah, that's
so it must have been the Palace game. It must have been the Palace against in the Community Shield. Like
we played a box midfield though against Palace.
The thing about Curtis Jones is that Curtis Jones can control the ball. He can pass the ball really well, but he's got legs to do the job. I don't think McAllister's got the legs to do the job of what Arne Slot wants in the midfield right now. So if you just bench him right now and put Curtis Jones, I do not mind at all. Do not mind at all. And just last thing, Wirtz, finally. Finally. But you know, it was a thing where Wirtz, in previous games, Wirtz will pass the ball to certain guys and they would just miss. And I'm thinking, are you not doing it on purpose now? Like, do you want him to not get an assist?
He also, was it him that played the header over the top to Chiesa? I think he headed the ball to Chiesa when Chiesa missed. Or was that somebody else?
Yes.
I thought it might have been Jones.
Was it Jones? I couldn't work it out. He did get 2 assists tonight, actually, yeah, didn't he? He got 2 tonight, Wirtz. Yeah, it's important. Sorry, go on.
No. He's the one that headed the ball to Chiesa.
I felt bad for Wirtz. I know all the Liverpool fans will agree with me. When he played that pass to Szoboszlai after dribbling past like 2 players, I'm like, what else can he do to get an assist? And then he gets an assist finally. I'm like, I actually celebrated the Wirtz assist more than the Gakpo goal. I swear to God. I was like,
that's why assists are an interesting stat, because sometimes you get them for very little. Like Bruno Fernandes is at the weekend is like a real assist. Lewis Skelly's last night like a really good assist. But sometimes you get them for an innocuous 2-yard pass and someone scores a screamer. But that being said, how many times do players create amazing chances with great skills and passes and then players miss it? I do think it evens itself out. And that's why, if you've got someone that's got a good amount of assists, but they create a lot of big chances and they create a lot of chances in general, I think their numbers are typically speaking acceptable. It's not overly skewed, if that makes sense.
They even themselves out.
The first assist,
and also you're measuring like for like, right? Because you're also comparing them against rival players who play similar positions, perhaps, or have similar roles. But you're always going to lose some detail whenever you've got like you're reducing a player's performance down to a single number. Then you're going to lose a massive amount of detail one way or the other. So it's just one of them things.
Well, even then, I think regardless of the assist,
Terry, you are right, though.
Sorry, Sam.
Sorry, I was going to say Terry's right. He was the one that passed the ball over to Chiesa for the overhead.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought Wirtz played well tonight. Forget the assist. I thought his general play was good. I thought he took players on. He was involved. He was utilizing the space well. He was drifting out to the wide areas when he needed to. I thought he had a good game. It's just we are in an era now, whether people like it or not, where output for big players, attacking players matters, because it's what. And Sky Sports are probably the ones who've created this. And this is why sometimes it's fun to laugh at a rival, but you create it for your own team later down the line. Ever since the 007 thing, I think it's become far more. We used to give players a year or 2 before we judged them. Ever since 007, it became like a few months and it became a few games. We've seen it now where players get judged in their first preseason match. And I don't think this helps any player. Some are fine. They score early. They have a good game in the first few matches and they're okay. But for others, I think it starts to weigh them down a little bit, So, it's.
I think
very,
Is it me
thing
or
with
is it
Hurts
just?
is that
So I'm going to go to Rack for a second. I heard from Rack, and then I'm going to go to Andrew Barnes.
the thing with Hurts is he has had decent performances. You can see with the positions that he takes up and some of the touches he has, and that you can see him becoming more and more influential. Would we have liked it if he'd hit the ground running was taking players on and banging goals in top corner and playing through balls into Isaac and Ekitike 1-on-1? Sure, of course that would have been better. But all you can do is try your best to improve in the next game and the next game and the next game. And he has shown glimpses. You can see that he's got very, very good technical ability. He's taking up good spots. Sometimes the problem is he's taking up good spots and we're not finding him quick enough. And in the Premier League, it's the reason that when I was growing up, everyone always said the Premier League was the best, and I think back then it was questionable. Now I think it is the most difficult league in the world because there's so much quality and athleticism is on a different level, and all of these factors mean that it's going to be more difficult for him in England than it's going to be for him in Germany. That's for sure. But the fact that he's taking up these positions, the fact that he's showing some of these touches, and the fact that he's in a good team who will have good players around him, and today was a glimpse in terms of what we can potentially. Yes, it was against Eintracht Frankfurt, who are maybe having a little bit of an up and down season. It was away from home, fair enough. But I think that this is a template for us to follow moving forward. And I'm not necessarily saying about changing personnel, all the time, but as a method, sometimes good players have to adapt themselves. I'm not saying Salah shouldn't play. I'm saying Salah may have to adapt his game again. And he's done it several times in his Liverpool career. So we can then get the best out of him in his new position. I remember Salah in his first season was very different from the Salah in his second and third seasons, when in first season he was taking up much more central positions and scored 42 goals or whatever it was. And then there was a period where he was hugging the touchline a lot more and using that as his starting position because that's where he wasn't getting marked. And I don't know. I think there's a long way to go. It's wrong to say I wasn't enjoying the game, but I wasn't super jubilant because this is one game and there's a long way to go. But I hope it's a glimpse into the future.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I do agree. I suppose my view of it is this: I've been critical of Liverpool in these last 4 games. I haven't been. I feel I've been very balanced with it. Some players, some of its system, some of it is just been converting shot. Like today, you converted 27% of your shots. In the previous 4 matches, you converted 4%. In the previous games that you won, you converted on average 16%. And there are these little marginal things. And once you guys got a couple of goals today, ironically, one from a set piece that gave you a bit of a settler, you became an even better team. And goals do change matches. If Gakpo scores that goal and doesn't hit the post against Man United early in the game, I'll be honest, I don't think we go on to win it. And this is the only one game this season where it's hard to play that game. And I know sometimes, I've noticed this last week, I get called out a lot for if, buts, and maybes, but the amount of the same people that called me out for if, buts, and maybes go, well, if Liverpool did this and what if Liverpool did that? And it's a fair part of the analysis. The only game where I can't do that for you guys is Palace, because they probably should have been 4-0 up. Yeah. Outside of that, all the other games, even though there was marginal areas, if you take some early, maybe Newcastle as well, they were very good. If you take those early chances in those games, if you kill that game off when you had the opportunities to, the mood and the feeling would be different. And when that mood and feeling is different, the defeat in the next game or the setback doesn't hurt as much, if that makes sense. And sometimes it's just how you do things when you do things, and that type of thing. And you have been in a mini crisis because it's going to be a hard season, but some subtle changes tonight and you look such a better team. And I think you'll beat Brent. I think you'll beat Brentford now. And then it will start feeling like a distant memory.
I hope
the positive. Sorry, go ahead, sir.
Also, when we say Frankfurt, respectfully, like Man United finished 15th last season. Chelsea had Achimpong and Badishile. Galatasaray are shit. They lost 5-1 to this Frankfurt we played today. Crystal Palace, fair enough.
Not 15th this season, though. We won 50% of our games, bruv.
Okay, Terry. You get what I'm saying. When we say, like, we can't just say Frankfurt are shit and that's it. Okay, but we were expected to beat these,
Sorry.
Yeah, like, I do take a lot of it because Slot changed a lot today. He changed the way that we play. He changed our structure. He changed our style. He changed our system. He changed our way we kept hold of the ball. For me, genuinely, that second half, that 45 minutes, Slot, I'm begging you, just run it back. Forget all this bullshit, Slot. Just do it again. I agree with Ram that he should start Chiesa, but everyone here knows Salah starting this Saturday. But just adjust though. Like keep it like Mo, Ekitike, and on the left Gakpo, behind him Verts. We have to run Szoboszlai Jones back. We have to. There is no way you cannot drop either of them. Both these guys, Curtis Jones today ran that shit. He ran the whole game, by the way. Curtis Jones, like that guy is. Honestly, some of the like progressive passes, the way he kept possession, everything helped us being game. I'm not even against starting Robertson against Brentford. I'm not against it. Run it back. Run back Robertson.
He should start.
We have to, and I'm glad Terry said it as well, because we have to start. We have to create momentum, bro. We can't just sit on our ass and bullshit. Like we have to create.
We're not taking any credit away. I mean, I'm speaking for myself. I'm not taking any credit away from Slot, because look, the guy had the balls to do something completely different. He decided to play a 4-4-2 instead of that stupid 4-2-3-1 that was clearly not working. But we have to take into account, like this isn't the same Eintracht Frankfurt team of last season that were doing very well, that were like 3 points behind Bayern when it was Christmas. Like it is a different team. It is a team that's conceded the most goals in the Bundesliga. Like you have to take stuff like that into account. That's why we're saying we're not going to get ahead of ourselves saying like, oh, we're back, we're going to be firing again, this will show that we'll go on the next 10-15 game winning streak. No, it's a great performance. A lot of things that we tried today, it worked. It's just a few tweaks here and there, but I'm not gonna go overboard saying like everything's hunky dory. Like it is still a Frankfurt team that personally I don't put on the same level as many Premier League teams. So it is what it is.
I hear that. I hear where you're coming from, and I think I think it depends how far your drop's been. I think you've had a blip. I think some players have been out of form and you've lost a few games. I don't think you're in as bad a shape as other people are making out. But equally, I ain't emotional. You know what I mean? It's when you see someone's got a missing sign up, my cat's been missing for 3 weeks. I go, oh, that's sad. And then I get on with my life. Do you know what I mean? I don't sit at home thinking, wow, where's that cat? I don't know, especially not, maybe a dog, but cats, they're really good by them. One of my cats, when I had my first child, one of my cats, Bobby, saw him, went out before we went to the bathroom, didn't come back for 5 weeks. They're all right. Do you know what I mean? 5 weeks, he came back and he turned up meowing for food. I thought, you cheeky fucker.
Thought you moved that.
But yeah, other people's cats always gone missing. I mean, none of us go out and do a search party, do we? That's how I kind of feel about other people's clubs sometimes. I'm like, all right, chill out, lads. Andrew Barnes, my old mucker. 5-1 tonight. What are you saying about Chelsea? Chelsea. What are you saying?
So, Terry, for me, like all I have to say is that I'm extremely happy about like the result. Obviously, I also want to address people who are talking about Chelsea playing in the Conference League, right? They were talking about how like the level is that and all of that. And right now, Chelsea like fielded in the second half. They fielded a team that would have easily played in the Conference League and done exceptionally well. Like it is crazy the number of youngsters that he played today, and I like that he experimented. But if you told me, like, I don't know, 2 months ago that I would be like sitting here on your show talking about Chelsea leading like 5-1 against Ajax in a Champions League without Palmer, without Delap, without most of the the players that we would normally start, like, I wouldn't have believed you. But today we are doing that. Like today we are playing without Palmer. So I'm extremely happy for this result because of how it happened. Yes, Ajax went 10 men down, but it was on them. That was not like we've been losing so many players like because of red cards and stuff like that. It's been happening for us in the last 6 games or last 5 games. So I'm not going to feel sorry about that, but it's like we always say, like, you have to play whoever's in front of you. The challenge was that, in fact, when Ajax went 10 men down, I was a bit worried that they will do a low block, and then this Chelsea team with the current people won't be, like, barring Esteval, won't be able to make that low block. They won't break that low block. I thought it's going to be terrible. I thought it's going to be one of those games that will scrappily win 1-0. So we were fortunate to get that first goal immediately. So that means Ajax had to like play a little bit like expanded football. And then immediately what was good was that like we got again a fortune again deflection, and then once it was 2 goals up, they had to like do something. And then the referee was like really spot on today. Like he got all his decisions very well. There was no, and he was like a German referee, so he was not like what do you say, listening to what these players had to say or not. He was not letting them boss the game around. He made sure he was in control, which was good. And then like I like how Stamford Bridge, like they just embraced Estevao. It was so good to see that. It was so good to see like a young player, like, you know, he's smiling during the game, like to the crowd. Like you can see he's enjoying the game. And this guy, like I'm so happy. And every time I ask myself when I watch him play is how did we manage to sign him over Barcelona, over Real Madrid, over all of these? Because he's that level of a player. And in 1 year, in 2 years, we will be talking about this player like that, wondering how did we get him?
Yeah, he looks very, very special indeed. And I saw a stat actually that someone sent through to me that Chelsea had become the first team in Champions League history to have 3 teenagers score in the same game today. And again, listen,
record, yes.
Ignore people saying 10 men, this, that, and the other. It's nonsense. They went down to 10 men because they overstretched for a tackle because you were pulling them apart. The same as when we beat you recently. Yeah, it was against 10 men for a big period. Well, it was actually equal numbers for larger periods of the game than 10v11 because of our red card. But that red card happened because we cut you open. When you gain a numerical advantage because a team has to foul you, or a player lunges for a tackle because they're being stretched and they give away a red card. I don't know, again, how we've created this narrative in football. I'm going to probably feature this soon on Killing the Game, where the team that then goes on to win when it's got 11v10 seems to get ridiculed more than the team that went down to 10 men. It's like, you'll play well against a team, they'll have a man sent off for whatever reason, but normally because they're being stretched. And then the team that goes on to win, but it's only against 10 men. It's like, yeah, because, or penalties. How many times do you win a penalty? Most penalties are won because someone tries to stop you scoring, they give the foul away. Yet the team that gets the penalty and scores gets bantered more than the team that conceded it. We've created really weird narratives.
No, but that's the Twitter culture. That's because of Twitter. Twitter's done this, and this
maybe, yeah.
This.
Like, you know what?
Dickhead culture. I call it dickhead culture.
Yeah,
dickhead
I thought
culture.
it was interesting tonight. I thought it was interesting. Speaking of red cards, that Gusto didn't even see a minute tonight, because I thought he would have started because he's suspended against Sunderland, and I just think maybe Maresca punished him, because that red card at the weekend was probably the stupidest red card we've got this season. Do you know what I mean?
I think it sends a message to the entire
squad.
It does,
because we were 3-0 up and it's 3 minutes to go.
Exactly.
And he's already been told not to dive in. And I thought, logically, my logic would dictate that he'd start today because he's suspended on Saturday. But Maresca probably just punished him because of his stupidity at the weekend. You know, and I just think that sends a message, that sends a strong message as well, that, you know, if you do something like a stupid red card like that, then you will get punished. The other red cards are just, they weren't stupid to me. That they could be maybe a couple of them you could go, well, let the player go through or something like that. But instinct dictates that you're always going to try and stop the player from scoring no matter what, even if it's logical not to do so. But I thought that sent a strong message.
Yeah. There's also the fact that you guys had was it five consecutive games red cards? Obviously,
yeah, including the manager
as well. So I think because there's been a sort of there's been a pattern, and quite a lot of the red cards were needless and stupid red cards, weren't they? So
yeah, they were like last man or something. Whereas like the one on Saturday was like totally unnecessary.
Shocking.
You know what I mean? It was like
shocking.
Second yellow.
Yeah. Like, I feel like the one against United and the one against Brighton, those were because you got stretched and you were in trouble, and they're not good, but they're understandable. But yeah, it's a bit like Tosin. If Tosin wouldn't have got himself sent off for a stupid second yellow, that's not because you were being stretched. That's just stupidity.
And I just want to voice out my thing with Tosin. I don't think his level is this Champions League is definitely not his level. And if he plays, he should play in cup games and not here, because for some reason, even though he's the senior player, he just always tends to make the most silliest decisions in the box. And I don't feel comfortable when he's in the lineup. And when I saw the lineup, even Lavia had like a decentish game, because there's moments again where he was doing stuff that you're like thinking that, oh, okay, he's losing the ball, but he had a decentish game. But like Tosin at the back, I was a bit worried with that lineup, to be honest with you, but then it worked out.
No.
I think the worry was that it was 10 changes from Saturday. That was
I was pretty surprised
so
by
I was
that.
expecting like maybe 4 at the most, or something like that, but 10 changes. I know it's Ajax, but it was still like you don't expect 10 changes. Do you know what I mean? Maybe like 4, 5, 6, maybe at most, but 10. Well, that's like a Carabao Cup change. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got Carabao Cup next week as well. So
Well,
I mean,
exactly.
for both of us. So we've got games left, right, and centre.
Yeah, games galore for you lot. I'm just fucking. These weeks are getting hard now. I'm like twiddling, because when we were we might lose this weekend, but when we were losing, I was like, I don't care. I don't want another game, because we won 2 on the bounce. I'm like, when's the next one? I want another one.
That was
game of week
and then
2,
watch how you lose
remember.
again, Terry.
Oh, mate, we probably will.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Frank about that one.
Yeah, that was me 22-23 when I kept turning up and we'd lost every week.
Yeah,
it was the Bournemouth game where I just sat back. I don't think I said much when we won. I didn't expect to. So I was just like, 40 points. 40 points.
Yeah, I remember that one.
There we go. Boys, thank you all for coming on. I really appreciate it a lot. I want to thank the super chatters, everyone who's tuned in, everyone who's liked the show. We're back tomorrow with Killing the Game in the morning. We will have 6-sided in the afternoon as well. Until next time, everybody. Oh, this is going to redirect you to Husam's channel. So go support my brother over there. He is live now. So follow this stream through. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.